No matter where you're coming from in life, no matter where you are now, you can literally be successful. And that's something that I'm really passionate about. That's something that I want you to know. And that's something that I really want you to understand. Hi, I'm Phelisa Ricketts, and I'm the principal and founder of Western STEM Academy, and I'm also the CEO of the Purpose Finder Club. I help persons in the Purpose Finder Club to discover their true purpose and win in life. So I help you to move from a place of purpose to passion to profit. So no matter where you are, even if you're at poverty, I can help you to get to purpose, to get to profit, right? So that's what I do on the Purpose Finder Club. That's really geared towards helping persons to be successful, especially financially, because financial success is so important. And we often, whenever we talk about success, we don't consider financial success, right? So that's what I do at the Purpose Finder Club. On the other hand, where I'm principal and founder of Western STEM Academy, that's all about STEM because that's my first love, science. I'm all about helping persons to get that good quality STEM education, not just our boys, but our girls as equally. So it's all about science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, helping persons to get that firm STEM foundation. And many persons question and wonder what is STEM, why is it so important? Why Phelisa has an entire STEM school from early childhood, preparatory school, high school, and soon to be we want a college as well. Because I really believe that STEM is the future of any economy. STEM is the future of development, and we have to inculcate that passion from a very young age. So of course I teach all the other subject areas at the school, right, at Western STEM Academy, but there is a strong STEM focus, right? So there is math, there is language, there is social studies, there is business. We have all subject areas that you can think about, but what makes us different is that these subject areas have a strong STEM focus. So it's doing good. I was featured in the Jamaica Gleaner. I was featured on Smile Jamaica, Nationwide News Network, News Start 93 FM, Edge 105 FM, the Jamaica Information Service about my work at Western STEM Academy, what I've been doing. I've received several local awards, published in the local papers, as well as the Observer, I forgot, and also published in a Texas-based print magazine, right? So my work has been documented. There has been a lot of few features, and the features are not just because of the work that I'm doing at these institutions. The features are really based on where I'm coming from to where I'm at now. So yes, I want you to understand that you might be in a dark place. This probably might be for myself, but you might be in a dark place, but it doesn't mean that you're gonna stay in that dark place for forever. So even whilst I'm doing this video, I'm not necessarily in the best of places. Mentally, I am a wreck, but I'm doing this because I believe that there's somebody out there who is like me, who you struggled so much, but you are on the verge of giving up. You're on the verge of giving up, but I want you to understand that you cannot afford to give up right now. You cannot give up. It's difficult, but you have to stay focused because there's so many persons who are depending on you. There's so many things that are depending on you. Yes, that one thing is not going right, but focus on everything else that is going wrong. I feel like I'm probably preaching to myself, but that's fine as long as there's one person who it's even me who is getting the message. Then you can feel me totally, right? So just a little bit of background. You might be saying, oh, Phelisa have it easy. Phelisa, all right, she good, she jiggy. But background, I'm going to start from my professional life to my personal life. So let's start. At 23, I was fired from a teaching job. I went to college to become a teacher, but then I was fired from a teaching job. And literally, and that's in the middle of a pandemic. At 24, I was also fired again from another teaching job. And this is not because I'm not a good teacher, because I'm really good at what I do. You can definitely see the work. I love what I do. But I feel like this loss was for my greatest win. Because if I weren't fired from these positions, I wouldn't have taken up what I now have as Western STEM Academy, as Purpose Finder Club. I'd be in the classroom struggling to find my purpose, struggling to make an impact, as well as even struggling financially, struggling as an individual So I want to remind somebody tonight that your loss, your greatest loss, is your biggest win. I need you to type that in the comments because I really feel deeply about this. Your greatest loss is preparing you for your biggest win. Because sometimes if you don't lose out on certain situations in life, you're blocking your blessings that are to come. So you have to lose sometimes. There's nothing wrong with losing. You know, we're in this fairy tale society that paints the picture that we win every time. We don't. We fail to win. We lose to win. And you have to understand the importance of that. You know, you have to lose to win. You don't win every time. You lose and then you learn how to win. We lose in our personal lives. We lose in our professional lives. We lose in our relationships, and that's totally okay. You gotta lose to win. Accept the loss gracefully. It's going to hurt. Of course, I was hurt when I got those letters to say that don't come back. That's in the middle of a pandemic. I just bought a car. This car was charging me $51,000 per month out of my paycheck, you know? So I was even scared to like move on. But I just had to move on because there is no going back. You already have the letter. What are you gonna do? Sit and cry? Yes, you cry for a day, but what happens after? Move on, right? So that's my message to you. So that's my professional life in a nutshell, and how I really landed in business, because starting a school is something that I always wanted to do. I have to be real with you. I always wanted to do it, but I didn't think it was possible. If things went normally, I wouldn't have done it, because I thought that, you know, I can probably start the school when I'm retired, when I'm 65, when I'm 70. But the thing is, I wouldn't have that youthfulness, that exuberance to really do it at that time. And that's for you. You are putting off your goals, waiting on until times and things are right, but things will never be fully right. Sometimes you have to just put yourself out there and hope for the best. Do something, do one small thing that will take you closer to the direction of your goal. Get out of your comfort zone. So that was me being comfortable. Yeah, I'm a trained teacher. I can teach in this classroom. I teach chemistry and physics and biology so well. I'm good at what I do. That's how I go into every job. Whenever I go into interviews, they talk about me for days, because I always go and I make a name for myself. When they see my resume, they're like, whoa, this is you at this age? I am so impressed. That's the kind of resume, that's the kind of interview I get. So when I go into that classroom, I go in confidently. I go in knowing my stuff. I go in passionate about my stuff. For somebody to look at me and say, you failed and we don't want you anymore, that's the worst thing that you could ever do to me professionally. That tears me down, not only professionally, but that pulls me personally too. And I had to get that for me to realize that I was holding on to something. I was holding on to my biggest gift, and I needed to lose that in order to win big over on the other side. Winning for me is impacting the lives of my students. Winning for me is helping my clients. The truth is, I couldn't do all of this while being a classroom teacher. All of the talent within me would have been held back greatly. So that's my message to you. And that's just the last in my professional life. I can, of course, go back to as far back as my personal life. When I was born, a little bit after I was born, my eyes were not opening. They were like closed down, and my mom thought I was gonna go blind. You know, my grandmother had to rush me immediately to the doctor to like get me tested, get me sorted out to see what was going on with my eyes. And the doctor said I had a really bad condition at the time, but eventually they were able to, you know, give me drops, and eventually I started seeing again. And that was when I was a baby, before I even became 1 year old. So my trial started from then, right? And, you know, going through life, I was living with my mom, living with my mom at the time. And there was a really bad situation that happened where I can't even remember what happened, but we were good, to be honest. And then eventually, I remember she had an experience. And then right after that, her mental health just went. She couldn't recognize me anymore. She couldn't care for me anymore. And that was a dark period, because this is a lady that I've known for 7 years of my life. We were like making life together, and her health is like deteriorating. Of course, there are many other things that I can fill in the blanks, but I'll fill them in my book, of course. I can't give you everything in this video. So that happened, and my grandmother took me in, started living with my grandmother at 7, right there. Oh, I forgot, my father died as well. So he died just before my mother developed the mental illness. So it was first his death, and then after that it was her mental illness, kind of a thing. So all of them happened within a short space of time. They're not related though. So yeah, they're different situations because they were separated. So that happened, and here is this little girl now, hopeless. What am I going to do? Grandmother took me in, tried her best with me. She was going to the market, selling in the market. I'd go and sell in the market with her, you know. She would go to the farm. I'll go to the farm with her, plant yam. I do that with her. That's the kind of life, that's the kind of childhood, that's the kind of upbringing that I had. You know, going through prep school. Well, it wasn't prep, it was primary. Going through primary, not even primary, like all age. I went to first till all age school in Jelani. It's now first till primary. So going to first till all age school, I mean, I was shy. I was really reserved. Person saw me as the outcast, you know. I would be teased. I would have some big plait in my hair, and they would call me like, you know, some really weird names. And they would tease me and like, you know, call me like Mad Pauline daughter. That literally did something to me. You realize I'm going over that fast because I think I'm not really fully healed, but that's for another story. But yeah, they would tease me when I'm going to school. Nobody wanted to be my friend. I was always a loner, buried in my books. And I realized that there is better for me. Like, yes, it's dark no, yes, it's hopeless no, but Phelisa is gonna make it. I don't know how I'm gonna make it, but they said must go to school, get a good education. I'm going to do that. And I had my dreams, I had my eyes setting on going to my dream school, the school that wears the hat, Westwood High School, right? So it was GSAT at the time. When I became in grade 3, my teacher asked me what I wanted to do with life. I told her I wanted to be a vendor because I didn't see any other career. And Miss Hill, I met her the other day. We didn't even get to have a long chat. And she was like, no, a bright girl like you need to do something else more than being a vendor. I'm not saying that anything is wrong with being a vendor, but that's the only thing I knew. I didn't know any other profession. And plug, that is why I have career counseling as a lesson that my students are learning at Western STEM Academy from early childhood. Because the only career I knew was being a vendor, going to the market and selling. I didn't think anything else existed outside of that, because as a child I wouldn't go to the doctor, I wouldn't go anywhere, I don't know any doctors, nurses, teachers, nothing. I wasn't exposed. We didn't have electricity when growing up. There was no running water. It was just us living in the dark, you know, the dark side, the dark ages as I call it, right? That was me. No. Eventually we got over that, and I said, you know what, I want to be a teacher. But that never really had any big significance to me. I just said I want to be a teacher because she's a teacher and she looks cool, so why not? I love mathematics. Well, I was doing well in all subjects. As a matter of fact, I was the top student from grade 1 right up till grade 6. I was a top student. I was that student who got all the prizes. I was that student who you're tired to hear the name at graduation, like Phelisa Ricketts, excellence in math, Phelisa Ricketts, excellent in language. And that was the only time I felt like I had worth. Like the other time, I just felt worthless. I had low self-esteem. I felt really bad about myself. I thought I was really ugly. And I never really loved myself. I just went and tolerated myself. But all along throughout my childhood years, I was wishing that I could be somebody else. I wanted to be like the cool kids, but them not even talk to me, so I don't even know. But eventually grade 6 came and I had a dream. My dream, Lord God, may I look on the table. My dream was to go to Westwood High School because I feel like if I make it, then my dreams are possible, right? Because if for me at the time, Westwood was regarded as that school where you either go if you have money or if you're really, really bright. So it was one of the two. You have money or you're really, really bright. Me know me not have no money, because at the time they would like charge the fees in one, so it was a bit more expensive than the other schools around. They had lunch a part of the package. They had like an excellent program. I mean, they still do. I now serve as the vice president of the alumni association, which is like, I still can't believe to this day. But like, it was that school, the school to go for girls, in not even only in Trelawney but in the entire Jamaica, because it was boarding. We had persons coming from all different parishes just to come to Westwood, and I was living probably 5 to 10 minutes drive from there. So I'm like, I want to go there. It's the school to go. So, anyways, I did my GSAT and I was placed there, thankfully, because I never worked hard. I didn't study. I was just natural at the time. Please don't listen to this part, children. Study, 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 study to show thyself approved, right? So for me, I did my homework, but I never did the extensive study because the whole thing just came natural to me, right? So I got successful, went to high school. Now my grandmother tried her best. We got some uniforms, all the borrowed uniforms that we could get, all the used books that we could get. We got them, thanks to those persons who gave me their used books, by the way. Grateful, super grateful for them. The used uniforms, I'm still super grateful for them. I went them big at the time. I was so happy. I got my new hat, my new pin and everything. Went to school. So yes, this is me now going into Westwood High School. Feel like, yeah, me reach one goal accomplished. Who can talk to me? But then I met girls from all different backgrounds, and that's when the hard part hit. That's when I realized that, girl, you don't have no father, you don't have no mother. It's just you and your grandmother, and you can hardly manage. That did something to me. There was an emotional void that I tried to fill with every single thing that's possible. I tried to fill it I've tried to fill it with friends. It never worked. I tried to fill it with, drinking. It never worked. Tried to fill it with smoking. It never worked. Tried to fill it with boys. It never worked. Tried to fill it with sex. That never worked. Right? There's so many things that I tried to fill it with at that age that I wasn't supposed to be doing. And that literally did something to me as a child. So I struggled. I was hopeless. I was depressed. Started doing things that I wasn't supposed to do. And eventually, at 14, ended up in a situation where we were taken to girls' home, my friend and I. And we were there for a little while until I came back out. That was also dark, because I'm like, no, I don't want to spend my life like this. I want to finish school. My community wrote me off. They were like, Outcast, and you're not come to nothing, you're workless, you're not good. And it was just so much for a little girl like me. And all I wanted was to belong. All I wanted was for somebody to care, because that emotional void from not having that parental support was something for me. And that is why I have this school now, to help persons just like me, that regardless of what you're going through, you are whole. You can be successful. You are not a circumstance of your situation. You are beautiful just the way you are. You are whole. I want you to believe this. I want you to know this. Don't let anyone speak negativity into your life. Don't let anyone try to second place you or put you down, because you are powerful just the way you are. You are beautiful. You are handsome. You are powerful. You are a success story. I can't even tell you this much enough. There's so many things for you to accomplish, but you're not yet there. You need to get there. You need to get up and get on that journey and stop holding yourself back, right? So I held me back trying to fill void that wasn't there. I put the void there. Yes, the void was there, but I kept putting things there, putting things in my head. Yes, it was an emotional journey and I needed help, and nobody realized that I really needed the help. Instead, I was taken through some scrutiny. I remember one time I was at school, and out of the blue, I wasn't involved in anything, but out of the blue, I was taken to the doctor to do a test, and I'm like, that's not what I need. I need emotional support. and you're putting me through all of this for something that I'm not doing. I'll talk about that in my book too. But anyways, yeah. So I wanted that. I wanted that. And that's what I'm giving my students. I'm giving them that emotional support. I'm giving them what they need, the tools they need to succeed. Not only academically, because academically they can be it. Information is there at their fingertips. What they need somebody in their corner to believe in them, somebody to push them, for them to understand that, guess what? You can be successful wherever you are. As a matter of fact, that just reminds me of a new program that I need to put in at Western STEM Academy. Let me just put that down right now. This is how the ideas come in the wee hours of the night when I'm talking to you. I get the ideas because we want this to be a worldwide force, helping students to be the best version of themselves. So yeah, that was high school. That was high school. Dark, depressed, and hopeless. But eventually I made it to grade 9. Finished grade 8, now grade 9, something rough come. I'm going to write about that in my book. I can't talk about that in the video right now. I might break down. I don't really want that. So let's do that part in my book. Let's do grade 9 in my book. But let us just say that I almost couldn't finish school. I just saw my way outside of school. I just saw my way. I just saw my opportunity to go to school fading. Like, this is it. Goodbye, school. It was nice being here, but a girl just got to say goodbye. And that's on that story. But eventually, God is still in the miracle working business. And I was able to go back to school. Here I am, graduated grade 11 as with 8 grade 1s in CSEC. I need to list out my subjects because I tend to not remember them. List out your subjects that you did in the chat. Math, language, mathematics, English language, English literature, human and social biology, physics, chemistry. Chemistry was my love. Miss White, big up yourself. Physics, I love it too. Miss Canigan, Miss Pantan for math, love you, appreciate you. Spanish, home economics. That's it, right? Let's do that. Math, English language, English literature, human and social biology, Miss Lawson. Chemistry, physics, home economics management, and Spanish. I think that's 8. Hope I didn't repeat any, but I did 8 subjects and I got straight grade 1s in all of the subjects. And that's why I'm hosting a session, by the way, for my grade 11 students to help them to get grade 1s, because I know how to get grade 1s. I know how to do that. I did that for myself. I've been doing that for my students. So I want my students to get all grade 1s. That's why I'm hosting a national CSEC workshop on the 21st of April, by the way. So if you know a grade 11 student, please tell them about this workshop. So grade 11, I need to probably do this in another video, that I actually got 8 grade 1s. I don't talk about this enough. I feel like I hide it because I am afraid of what people might think. But that's the thing about success. Whenever you succeed, do not care about what people will think. Publish, brandish, celebrate your win, because it wasn't easy. I remember those sleepless nights. When I was growing up, I never had electricity. We used the kerosene lamp. Up to this day, my grandma is still using the kerosene lamp, I go things so they move her to the other house where she stopped. But they use the kerosene lamp. When we're looking at my nostrils, and my nostrils, they're not really so small, right? It block up with the kerosene lamp thing. And that's how I studied. That's how I prepared for exams until I was given a free opportunity to board at Mrs. Grant. Big up Mrs. Grant wherever she is right now. Mrs. Grant took me in and I could get breakfast at morning time, because I tell her some days I don't eat while growing up. Me go school, me not really eat. We probably get something light at school. In the evening, me go home, no food, that's it. Next morning again, right? So it was hard. So I'm celebrating those 8 grade 1s. I don't think I did enough. I need to do it. I got 8 grade 1s and I want my students to get 8 grade 1s too. Really badly. Me need enough to get it, because everybody can get a grade 1. Like, don't care about the bell curve or anything like that. Everybody can get a grade 1. Everybody can do their best. And that's what the National CSEC workshop is all about. So yeah, girl get her grade 1s. Time to go to college now. Time to graduate. When it's time to graduate, me owe fees from grade 7. I owe fees from grade 7 because I wasn't able, well, nobody could afford it in my family. So we just go to school and hope for the best. Said I'm not send me home. Thanks to Miss Francis though, she has never ever sent me home. I never ever felt less than or anything like that while going to school. Me just go school thanks to Miss Lawson who give me everything, food, clothes, everything. Every day Miss Lawson, I would go to Miss Lawson, I would get break. Lunch was provided for us at school, and even though my fees weren't being paid, I could get lunch at Westwood up to the 5 years. And that's why I want them hurry up and build back the dining room. If you're a past Westwood High School, if you're a past student, let's try to get that dining room fixed, because that dining room saved so many of us. We could get a warm meal. Like sometimes that warm meal was my only meal for the day. Literally, right? I know this video is getting long. I don't want it to be long. But let's just finish up high school. There was an article published. I was in ISCF. So I was vice president of ISCF, vice president of Environmental Club. And I was asked to do a speech at ISCF. I mean, almost tell them my entire story, the same one I tell them now and tell them I write it in the book. I almost tell them. I think that's where I got scared from. I would probably be more open about it, but I wrote it down and somebody said, no, you can't share that yet. And it's on my heart to share it really badly, not because I want you to know my business or anything like that, but just because I want to inspire some persons who have gone through that very situation. But boy, it's so touchy. Me not even know how to tell you. So me write it and you read it, okay? So let's do that. So I wrote everything. I wrote the story and I went and I spoke at that ISCF meeting, and the Gleaner contacted me, said they wanted to do a feature on me. Big up Chad Bryan who did that feature from the Youth Link, right? So the Youth Link did a feature on me about 17-year-old's faith in the face of adversity. I did it, and so many persons reached out. I need to put the article somewhere so you can read it. And I was able to graduate from college because the people them were so nice. Thank you, everyone. They gave money towards all my school fee, leaving surplus. And the surplus was able to help me to start college, as well as WOGA, Westwood Old Girls Association. So I'm so happy to be the vice president now. I have so many plans for Westwood, but gosh, my time and the COVID, everything. I need to do it though. I don't believe in excuses. So hold me accountable to some plans. Tell me what I can do with the resources that I have, the network that I have. Just tell me what I can do if you're at Westwood right now. I want this video to go really far though. I want you to know that. I want everybody to know where I'm coming from and that success can be yours. I've not reached my full potential. I still have a lot to do. I'm 25 years old right now, which means that I'm quarter century. I have so much more to do. Right now I have a few big goals, but I'm so grateful for how far I've come that I just need to put the big goals into order and priority so I don't mix them up, right? Which one I want to do first, second, third, etc. I need to strategize my goals, but I still have some massive goals, I'm telling you. When I think about my goals, I get uncomfortable, and that's what I want you to do too. I want when you think about your goals, you become uncomfortable. If your goals make you comfortable, them too small, and if you dash them out and get some bigger goals, because all the goals I've had since I was 18, they made me uncomfortable. I feel like, no girl, you do too much. And that's what I like, because it pushes me outside of my comfort zone. And I can say that to date, I've achieved 95% of those goals. It's just one thing me not do yet, and the book, right? So I've achieved them. Even if I achieve them, and I'm grateful. So push yourself, man. Push yourself. Your brain can do more than it's telling you. Increase the capacity, because what I realize is that your limits are the only one that you create. I need to write that down. That's a powerful quote. The limits are not there. The limits are the ones that you create for yourself. You are the one telling yourself that you can't make you can't be financially free. You are the only one telling yourself that you can't be successful. Nobody never tell her that. Nobody never tell her that. When I wrote down that I wanted to be Prime Minister's Youth Awardee, me don't know what me that talk about. Well, let me say, I didn't know what I was talking about. When I wrote down that I wanted to be youth advisor to the government, I thought I was dreaming. When I wrote down that I wanted to be a youth parliamentarian, I was like, girl, are you out of your mind? When I said I wanted to be a festival queen for Jamaica, I was like, girl, come on, shut up. You are not worth it. I told myself those negative things, but guess what? I wrote them down just the same and I went after them and hoped that I would reach there. And what have I done? All of the things that I've listed and more. Because as you start to achieve those goals, though they become so small in comparison to bigger things. So once I did Festival Queen, which was a big hurdle for me, I'm like, no, you have to can talk. Well, I could talk, but I'm like, no, you have to can model, you have to look good in a bikini and those things. I told myself that only to realize that it wasn't that kind of pageant. It was a pageant about community development. It was a pageant about, woman, like being a woman. Not that being wearing bikini is not being a woman, but it wasn't anything to do with fashion and the outward beauty. It was more about the inner you, what makes the inner you a woman. And girl came second, and I didn't even think they would accept my application. So that's what I'm saying, that sometimes it's you who are holding you back, right? You are the one holding you back. I need you to know that. So anyways, graduated from high school. I need to get the story out of the way. Right? Graduated from high school, went to college, was assisted greatly by Miss Lawson and her kindness, the sponsors, everybody. Went to Church Teachers College because I wanted to become a teacher. Even though there were persons saying like, a bright girl like you want to become teacher? Yes, a bright girl like me wants to become a teacher because I want to give back to students just as how my teachers poured into me, just as how my teachers gave their all to me. That's what I want. And that's why I became a teacher, right? And I felt like that's where the gap was, even in my working relationships, because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to pour into students, right? And the opportunity wasn't there. Like there were so many other things to do other than pouring into the students. I'm like, no, I'm missing my goal. This is not what I'm here for, right? And I felt like that's where the disconnect were with my jobs. Although I don't regret that experience, but my purpose was different. Yes, you're looking for a teacher to teach, but I'm not just coming with the curriculum. My students are going to get 100%, yes, but I need an opportunity to pour into them socially. So I was at an institution that never allowed us to get close to the kids. Once we started getting close, it was a question of concern. And that was a thing for me because I needed to get close to them just to pour into them the way how I need to. Because they're not just students coming to school. They're humans. They're children going through so much. And I can understand the whole concept of this. I do understand. But there were bigger things. Let's not go into that situation right now. Let's just say that my purpose is to do this and I wasn't being able to do that. Right? So that was one. So I went to Teachers College and I was so grateful for the opportunity. Me like a little poor girl like me can come to college. So I made the best of the opportunity. I became vice president. I became vice president of debating, president of debating. I went to California to debate. I did so many things. I went to different children's homes to give back. I went to infirmaries. I gave back to my college community. I poured into them. I did so many things in college, and then that's the end of my college era. Graduated successfully as president as well, and was given several awards. Freedom of the College Award. I think they're over here. JTA National Award, and I don't know. I'll probably write them. All of those awards that are over there. So I was given those awards, started teaching, realized that, I have more to give. And then I also did Festival Queen, became a youth parliamentarian, became a youth advisor to the government, a runner-up, a finalist in our semi-finalist in the Queen's Young Leader Award, semi-finalist in the Governor General's Award, as well as became a Prime Minister's Youth Awardee, semi-finalist in the YLA Fellowship. I don't know if I'm a finalist yet. I need to not post this video before the announcement. But yeah, a semi-finalist in that's a US-based program, right? Did the interview and everything. You just wish me well, no, please. So yes, did that, did so many things, like just blazing a trail wherever I go. And in addition to that, I'm proud to say that I've started the Western STEM Academy, which is going down in legacy. I see, how we read about William Nib, how we read about these amazing founders of institutions. That's what's gonna happen for Western STEM Academy. I don't want them to read about me like Phelisa Ricketts. What I want them to read about is the journey, the trials that I went through to make this happen, and the trials that I'm still going through to make it happen. But I promise you that I will not quit. I will not quit. That's my promise to you, that I will not quit. Even though it's difficult, I will not quit. The challenges that I go through to start the Purpose Finder Club, and how it rubbed me out sometimes, because sometimes I don't sleep. Sometimes my purpose wakes me up at night and me just have to do the video. I was in my bed, laying down and watching If Loving You. What did I watch? Love is Blind. And the purpose wake me up and say, "Fella, you need to go do the video." So me have to stop my Love is Blind to come and watch this, to come and do this kind of video, because I need to pour into you. So if you've watched this video so far, I want to thank you. Thank you for actually being on this journey with me. Thank you for being a part of history. I see this going really big. Like sometimes I feel it in my spirit and I get so uncomfortable. And I just want to surround myself with positive persons just like you, who will continue to motivate me on days when the journey becomes rough. Because I'm not promising you that it's a smooth journey. It is difficult. It robs me. I am young, I have a personal life to deal with in all of this, and I have a professional life to deal with in all of this. And there's nothing as balance. Balance doesn't exist. It's all about priorities. And right now my priority is making a difference in your life. My priority is making you succeed. My priority is for you to understand that you are powerful beyond your own thoughts. That's my priority right now. So of course, it's been my pleasure pouring into you. I know I got overly passionate, and that's just how I am. That's the real me. Like, I feel like this is the most vulnerable I've been in a video. And I try not to be, but I just had to be real. I just had to express the emotions as they come, and hope that you can understand and acknowledge that it's just my passion for you to do well. It's just my desire for you to shine wherever you are. You can be successful. Of course, this is just part one. I'm going to give you part two in terms of tips that I give, in terms of how you can be successful in your personal life, successfully in your professional life. But don't look for any advice in your relationships. I don't do that kind of a thing. I just do personal and professional life. How can you be successful in those two? All right. So of course, thank you very much for being here. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. I appreciate your subscription. It will help me to get the message out even more. I appreciate you. I am Phelisa Ricketts Graham, and it's a pleasure to share with you. I am tuning out.